He took a natural biological reaction and turned it into something dirty and perverted. One day I came home from work and my ex was freaked out over something my son had done. He began to tell me a story of how he and my son were playing rough and wrestling around when my son got an erection. My ex was mortified. I think he actually believed that my son was turned on by him. I laughed. I remember laughing hard, a good, long gut laugh, at how upset he was over this. I knew it was natural and not a big deal for a 3-year-old to get one while playing. Well, it soon became anything but a laughing matter. The next weeks, he filled my mind with fear and lies. What if my son turned into a sexual deviant or forced himself on others or animals? The things that came out of his mouth were so perverse, outrageous, and twisted. He scared me into believing that if we didn't nip this in the bud, everything he said would come to pass, and more. And I didn't want that. I read somewhere that people will believe a lie either because they want to believe it's true or they're afraid that it is true. Thus began the darkest months of our lives. There were multiple spankings every day, over and over. I would hear my son crying out, and I would bawl my eyes out when he wasn't looking. I pictured us running away, but my ex made it very clear that if we left him, one of us would die. He broke those leather belts with the round metal holes in them all the way around. Broke those on my son, spanking him. Now, what he did to my son hurts more than anything that he did to me. Because maybe he was right. Maybe I did do or say something wrong. But a 3-year-old? A child is pure innocence and never deserves to be beaten. When I would tell him to stop spanking my boy, he would do other things to him. I never really understood the term cruel and unusual punishment until then. I'm not going to go into what he did for fear of giving the acts a life and having them be repeated on someone else. It progressively got worse. I tried everything to make him happy. Before my son, it was always something else. Money, drugs, family. He blamed my dad for every problem we ever had. But mostly the lack of the first two. He was always stubborn, but nothing like this. With this, he was obsessed. He would check. He would look to see if it was bigger, and then spank my son, even if it was just slightly enlarged. Sometimes I think he spanked him just because. I don't even think it was, Then the isolation. He would isolate my son in his room with a night vision camera on him 24/7. He wasn't allowed to sleep under the covers. And there were extreme forms of corporal punishment. I tried everything. I tried giving in. I tried standing firm. I tried being my ex's mother, daughter, friend, doctor, or whatever he needed me to be at that moment. I tried to be it. Nothing worked. I tried again and again and again until one day I had enough. And that day I let go of the love I thought we shared. And I did what I had to do to get us out.